What's up guys, and welcome to the very first video of the Cream Z giveaway car build series. So today, typically I would start with the most important mods first, but because of daylight and me wanting to get some outside of the car sound / video clips of it drifting, first thing we're gonna do is a welded diff and an exhaust. Joining me today is my friend Matt, who's gonna help out filming some clips, so I can just focus on getting this thing done because the end goal is to finish this car in one day, and we're starting at 2:30, so I have to use my time wisely. One of the benefits already of these KBD poly substrates, I don't know if you could tell, but the lift is pushing up on it a ton. If it was fiberglass, it'd be cracked, but like, this will just take it. Champ. All right, so let's see what we are working with here. Conveniently enough, to remove the diff, it'll make it a little bit easier if we have the exhaust out of the way. I honestly don't know at which point I need to pull the exhaust apart. I believe what we got is a Y-pipe back exhaust, so we're gonna open it now and confirm. Conveniently enough, we are actually local to Injuku Racing, so we went over there and we picked up an ISR exhaust. So why did we go with this single tip on a dual tip 350Z? Well, as you know, my friend's name is Single Tip Shulman, so I want to do him a little bit of justice.
So, yeah.
He put a single tip exhaust on a quad tip WRX.
It was cheap, but it sounded good.
So, I mean, that's essentially the same logic that we're using here. It's cheap and it sounds good. These are like 300 bucks from Injuku. Now, ideally, I guess we would do like a full exhaust, but since this is a giveaway car and the winner might be in a state that has emissions, I thought it would be smart to leave the catalytic converters in place even though they rob us of horsepower. And we live in Florida where there's no emissions, so we don't really care, but we're just gonna keep it very simple. Again, I don't think we're gonna see that big of horsepower gains from this. This is more or less just like, let's make the car sound a little bit cooler since drifting with a really quiet car is kind of boring. Plus, it's so cheap. How can you go wrong?
And it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds great. I don't know how it sounds, but it's gonna sound great.
And you're single.
I'm single. Now, I don't know if there's an actual like correct procedure or order for taking off exhausts. A lot of this, like I've never worked on a 350Z before, but I'm assuming it's nothing special. We've got this one flange we've got on bolt, and then we've got a few exhaust hangers, which I'll show you my little trick for getting those out. A little bit of WD-40 would probably help us, but that's okay. We're not gonna be tackling in today's video, but if you look at the tires, it looks like we could use some new tires, maybe in alignment. Can you see? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, it's okay.
Not too bad.
Okay, so we got those two bolts for that flange out. Now there's a bunch of exhaust hangers. Oh, there's like a little ground here. I'll pull that off first. Don't ask me what this does because I have no idea. These exhaust hangers in WD-40 usually makes it a little bit easier to get them off. I don't know if this is giving me pain. Might need a smaller screwdriver. This one seems kind of big and annoying. Pry it right off. Look at that. It's a good idea to have extra exhaust hangers on hand because a lot of times these rot out. Luckily this is a Florida car, but if you're like in the Northeast, you're probably not working with as good of a... These hangers are really tricky. It would definitely be helpful to have a friend for this to kind of help you pry it down and get it accessible. There's also a couple bolts here that I contemplated taking out to give us a little bit easier situation because then the whole thing would just drop down. But I think getting one side makes the other side where I can get a screwdriver up there now and I should be able to just slide it off. This might work. This might not. I just need something to pry off of. Grr. All right, guys, we're gonna cheat because this isn't worth getting hurt over. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend that if you're doing this stupidly like me, you have a friend to support the exhaust so it doesn't fall and hit you in the head. Matt, is there any way you can just put one hand here so it doesn't come falling? I don't want it to like
Damn, shock me.
I don't want it to like pendulum me in the face. Almost sure. I think it's off.
That felt like it. Oh, yep.
See? That would have been my face. All right. Now, Matt, I'm gonna lift this myself to demonstrate how strong I am. I got this. Don't help me, Matt!
No, it's gonna...
This is mine!
Oh, wow, okay. Oh.
No, it's really not that heavy. But that is a great point, though. I wish I had a scale this large because the weight savings going over that single is gonna be insane.
That is huge.
Bro, that's big, dog.
Why are you hitting it?
I don't know. Now, the only drift-related mod on this car that the average person might not be able to do is welding the diff. So instead of showing you how to weld the diff, since chances are that's not what you're gonna do, I'm gonna show you what you would need to do to be able to take an open differential to a fabricator or to someone who could weld the diff to make their life easier, since that's most likely what you're gonna do. I'll show you the welding too, but I'm not gonna do it thinking that you guys are gonna go buy a welder and do it. Sometimes it's better to leave stuff like that to people that know what they're doing. So right here we've got a setup with a little bit of a table so we don't lose any bolts or hardware. And then we've also got some sort of tub that we'll be using to drain the fluid. All right, so right here we've got a big, heavy, open diff for a 350Z. I honestly don't know what it came out of. I got this from the same guy I got the Z from. Chances are you got some sort of junkyard plug near you that you can get an open diff from if you don't already have one. All right, so most of my videos, as you guys probably already know, isn't showing you the right way to do things. It's showing you me trying to figure out the best way to do things, usually failing and then learning from my mistakes. So we have a very sturdy setup here where I'm gonna try to take the drain plug out and then tilt the diff so we can drain it and not make a mess. Oh wow, that was easy. Oh, the only thing I realized, all right, we're gonna be smart. Because it's gonna drip down here. I realized this, all right, look, see, we're learning. All right, that's a little bit better, so now it's not all just gonna make a giant mess. Incidentally, the fluid in here is the most disgusting thing in the world. You don't wanna, ugh. Oh wow, this is a nasty smelling fluid. That's how you know you're about to have a good time with a welded diff. So we got here is the good old balance beam concept. Instead of putting the diff here and having the whole thing tilt over, I put a jack on the other side to equalize the weight. This is a must if you're ever welding a diff. Now we've got about 8 bolts that we're gonna pull out so we can have access to the internals of the diff. Incidentally, having one of these handy for anything with cars, very nice. Now there's actually a little hole right in here so you can take a screwdriver and you can pry the cover off. Just like that. Ooh, that's a diff. That's a diff. You know, don't listen to people in life. You're just different. Open diffs are usually the way to go when it comes to welding, and usually they're much cheaper, and you can even usually trade sometimes people your LSD for one. Yes, sometimes an LSD is better for driving around town and stuff, but the 350Zs come with a VLSD, and for drifting, they're very inconsistent. I used to have one of my 240. They don't really lock up all the time, and you know, you don't want to go to drift and then have one wheel spinning and your car straighten out and go into a wall or something. So it's nice to just not even mess around and just go with a welded diff. It will make drifting a lot easier and more predictable. There's 2 different ways to do this. You can weld it in the actual casing, or you can take it out. Typically, a lot of people will weld it in the casing, and that's probably the easiest and cheapest way to do it. We're gonna actually take it out because that's how Alberto prefers to do it, but I'm gonna show you what you would do if you were taking this to someone in the casing. We're essentially just gonna brake clean pretty much whatever we can. The important part where they're gonna be welding is in here, but we're just gonna brake clean pretty much everything just to try to get the most clean surface as you can. You can't have contaminants when you're welding. They're probably gonna brake clean more than you did, but it's nice to save their work and, I don't know, maybe save you a little bit of money if you make their life easier.
Normally you have to brake clean it, and then you should be using acetone to clean the bubbles. And spray acetone everywhere.
You can see now just all the crap that we got out just from one quick spray brake clean, but I'm gonna be going over this for some time. Probably gonna need like 2 or 3 cans of brake cleaner to do this properly. Alberto and I both like using this stuff. It's pretty cheap. You can usually get it for like 2 for $4 or something like that. So this whole assembly actually just pries out once you have the stubs out. Just with a pry bar, you can just pry it and then it should just come right out. I don't know if I can do it one-handed though. It might be a little bit of a stretch. If your fabricator is Alberto, you'll have to do much more work than just simply bringing them an open diff. He had me take the actual core out. I believe that is what it's called, the core of the diff, so we can clean it extra good and it doesn't get splattered on anything else, like the ring gear, which I had to use his air tool to impact off, which I love using because it sounds like a NASCAR. Alberto's using a torch to preheat the diff before he welds it, also getting rid of any contaminants left on the surface. To be very simple about what Alberto's about to do, he's essentially welding all these gears together and then welding them to this housing so the entire thing spins as a unit and the wheels are constantly locked as if it was a solid axle.
Also, it's a very good idea to use the hubs to keep everything centered. If you weld it without the thing, it could probably be a little crooked from warping from the heat. So you put the hubs in place, that way it keeps everything straight.
Usually welding doesn't make that much popping or stuff flying everywhere. That's just because of all the contaminants, all the fluid, and that's what's annoying about welding diffs. Now Alberto was saying it would be even much worse if he was doing it in the actual diff. Anything you want to say about this, Alberto?
When it's fully welded, cleaning everything up to reinstall it, Now just to use some gray RTV and it's back together.
Sweet. Thank you, sir, for your fabrication skills.
For the power level, it's okay to use weld 4 corners, so all the planetary gears together. But I welded it for high power in case whoever gets the car or whatever decides to upgrade it, and it will hold turbo power. I welded the planetary gears together and also the planetary gears to the housing as well, so it's like welded everywhere. So it's completely reinforced all the way around.
Sweet. All right, now that you guys saw the procedure of welding the diff, we're gonna go ahead, remove this one and get the other one in. While it's out of the car, we're gonna fill the diff up with fluid. It takes 1.5 quarts. We're gonna use 75/90. Wow, these are tight. A lot easier than S13 though. We've got enough room to actually get an electric ratchet in here. So it's gonna speed up taking off the axle so much. So then it can just kinda help you enough just so you can break them loose without having to keep putting the car in and out of gear. The last bolt for the axle right here. Let them kind of hang down gently. Drive shaft, be careful because it will just fall on your head. I think it won't fall out there. It seems like it's resting okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like to make a habit of putting all the nuts back on the bolts so I don't lose things. It's a problem of mine. It looks like for the diff, I've never taken a diff out of these cars, but 1, 2 bolts here, then I think just 1 back here and that's it. This is just a stud back here, so I'm gonna do this one first. Just a 17. Very tight. Very, very tight. I don't know if this is gonna fall on me or what. I'm gonna try to not stand underneath it while I'm doing this. I feel like that'd be smart.
We should just catch it, like.
Bro, we should just put we should build a foam pit, dude. We'll put a foam pit right.
I'll get the foam from the exhaust.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick, dude.
Cool
It'd
shit,
actually
dude.
be kind of funny to just like let it fall just because.
Alright, it's getting loose. It's getting loose.
What'd you say? Oh, bro, no, we'll be fine. Listen, because the sway bar is gonna catch it.
No, it will not.
Yes, it will.
No.
There's a stud back here, and then the sway bar will catch the other side. I'm telling you. I've done this before in my dreams.
Okay.
Oh, I guess an impact would work really well for this. I just, I don't know. Sometimes I get in the mode where I forget that I have an impact, and I just revert back to using hand tools because I'm lazy. Make sure you get my face when I'm like lifting this. Trying to get the best angle. What was that?
Thing.
Oh, screw me. There's a plug in it.
Really?
I don't think it's attached to anything though.
You have to hold that for a second.
It's attached.
I know.
Unattached.
Hey, I'm coming.
Show him in. Not filming your torque.
What? He gets mad. Oh, it's not heavy. It's not heavy, dog. I got you, dog. I got you, dog.
I wasn't planning on
and he almost killed both of us.
Bro, I wasn't planning on holding it for like 10 minutes while you.
God, my arms all. Jeez.
I had to unhook
Hush,
it.
hush, hush.
I remember Drift Dad Taylor taking my diff out of my S13 with me. He was on his back on the cold, hot
You know what?
cement.
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah. So you know I had to do it for my dad.
Okay.
My Drift Dad.
Okay. Your camera's gonna die.
All right, for safety purposes, I'm gonna utilize my friend Shulman. Matt, can you help me so I don't hurt myself?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't need any sort of plate on that. I'll put the plates on the other one after the fact. So here, let's get that stud in first, and then the other part should be easy. Just keep going up. This part needs to go over the sway bar. You got it? I'll help you lift. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Okay. Needs to go upright. There you go. Push forward. Okay, that's it. No. Yeah, now it is. Alright, do you want to put that nut on?
Yeah, where's it?
I think I put it on the lift. A lot of people like to actually upgrade to solid diff bushings while they're in here, but this is a super simple build, so budget. We're just welding the diff, putting it in just like we got it. I don't know that the solid things are really necessary. We've got some Permatex blue thread locker that I'm going to be putting on the axle and drive shaft bolts. I don't know like if cars are different, but I know with S13s, it's like a good thing to make practice of. As you saw on my car, they actually got loose even with blue thread lockers. So rather be a little bit cautious than not put it on. I don't know. I don't know which way this bend goes, so I'm just gonna kind of like mock everything up and see if it like kind of lines up in place. And if it doesn't, just flip-flop it. I feel like it's common sense, but with the exhausts, always work from the front and back. It took me a few times to figure out the right orientation, but there's really only one way that this can go on where it clears the drive shaft. Angles it downward so the muffler doesn't hit. And then just slides on right like so. Look at that, look at that. Shulman's so excited.
Got the single tip,
Yep.
yes.
Oh bro, look, dude, it fits perfectly. I was worried we'd have to do it.
Oh man.
Cool thing that people do on 350Zs, I think is normally when you have like a sweet, super sick, expensive dual exhaust, they'll actually like, I think they'll drill it into this, or they'll tuck it up here basically so you can see underneath the car. People like to expose their underside, and yeah, I thought we were gonna have to do that, but maybe not. Maybe no bumper tuck for us.
Big single tip, man.
That is a big single tip. How's it work, Shulman?
I approve. Wait,
Shulman?
wait, nope, put it up.
Hold on. Patience. I'm trying to do the side one first. Thought it would be easier. Oh, I think I got it.
Hey,
She's in there.
here we go.
Yo, tip looks sick even with all the cream paint on it.
Oh heck yeah, that's perfect.
I kind of want to put like a longer exhaust hanger. All right, so it is about 4:30 and we're pretty much done with the diff and with the exhaust. It was definitely nice that I had Shulman's help. I do think it's possible to do alone, but when it comes to lifting the diff and trying to lift that exhaust out of the way, it's nice to have a friend there to at least help with some lifting. But about to put it on the ground, see how it sounds. I really like the look of the single.
Yes.
Dude, you're so stoked. I wish I didn't get a single tip. You're too happy. But yep, got that nice single. As you can see, we go right to that Y-pipe. Definitely a great idea to replace that if the next owner doesn't care about emissions. But yeah, we're looking great. You ready to hear the sweet sounds of the single?
Oh yeah. You can't hear the exhaust.
We're gonna replace those belts. Let's let it warm up for a minute, then we'll rev it. Ready? Got a nice deep tone.
Sounds really good. Do it again.
So I'm very, very picky about how cars sound, and like when these cars get loud, they start to sound almost like I think it's a Wookiee. Is it a Wookiee? And they just go, oh, oh, oh. And it's like,
Wait, one more time.
oh, oh. Matt made a great meme for this. I'll put the meme in the video right now. But like, the only thing that I feel guilty about making videos showing how great of cars these are is knowing that there's gonna be very loud, straight piped VQs that are making people's ears bleed. This exhaust, it's a great note. It's not too loud. Straight piped of these cars are just like, oh. Dude, it looks so good in the sun.
Dude, yeah.
There's a little bit of rattling on the exhaust. It's just kind of like barely touching something, but I'm gonna pick up some new exhaust hangers and I'll probably fix that maybe later this evening or tomorrow. All right guys, so that is going to be it for this episode of the 350Z giveaway car build. What you can expect to see tomorrow, I don't know, I guess you're just gonna have to kind of wait. We're about to go and test this, but in case you didn't watch the video that I uploaded yesterday, go ahead and watch it if you do want some more information on this. But basically we are doing it where every $10 you spend on my website, lzmfg.com, gets you an entry for a chance to win this car. We also have a second prize, which is a set of BC Racing coilovers. And we have another prize, which is a set of Cosmos Racing wheels, which, as you can guess, are going to be going on this car as well. In the description, you'll find the link to the complete rules. We should have like 2 or 3 more videos building this car and turning it into a budget, fun, reliable, good-looking drift car. Gotta thank Alberto for welding the diff, ISR for providing us with this exhaust, and then this sweet KBD Polygod lip kit we got with the Surratt Performance paint. But let's see how this thing slides. Got the welded, and we should have the sweet single tip exhaust sounds now. Kind of like how it looks.
Good.
It's like, you know what? I don't want to be symmetrical. Do you guys think we should do a bumper tuck? Like, tuck this area up? Yay or nay?